Word on the broadcast, quote in the comments, chanting every line. You're tuned to the truth that you'll never find online. Come on, it's the quote of Ron and Brian. If you're in, you ain't ever going quiet. Twist that dial, let the whole world hear it. Two sharp minds in the bad influence spirit. Hey, quote of Ron and Brian. Welcome to the ride, you're inside it now.
And good evening, everybody. It is Sunday night. It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast, and it is time for episode 407 of the Ron and Brian podcast. Excuse me, the cult of Ron and Brian. Brian, how the hell are you tonight, my friend?
I believe, and I don't want to go out on a limb here, I believe, and I'm going to prove it over the next 59 minutes, but I believe that I am firing on all cylinders.
I mean, you seem fired up, that's for sure.
Fire.
Are you a loose
Fire.
cannon tonight?
Nope, not a loose cannon. I'm not going to do anything inappropriate. I'm going to stay on the script. You sent me the script earlier today. The lady and I, we sat on the couch. We role-played through the script. I tried to go on some tangents. She slapped me in the face each time I started going off and straying. She was like, stick to the script this week. Ron wrote a great script. You've got to stick to it. So I'm on my best behavior, Ron. You're going to be proud of me at the end of this one.
I hope so. Well, then let's stick with the script. Let's do what we always do and start things off with Drink of the Week.
Welcome aboard, don't spill your brew. We've got one cup and maybe two. A mystery pour in a paper sleeve, the kind that makes the wise men grieve. Hey, drink of the week, drink of the week. Raise it up, let the anchors creak. Drink of the week, drink of the week. Bottoms up for the cult of Ron and Brian podcast.
Oh, yeah, the new music that we rolled out last week. But yes, let's get going with Drink of the Week. Johanna checking in live from the merch table on a Sunday night. Kudos. But yes, Brian, what are you drinking this Sunday night?
Week 2 of the mystery box. It literally, I have all beers chilling in the refrigerator. I'm grabbing them at a random order. This is absolutely not planned, whatnot. But this week, I am blessed with the Paulaner Hefeweizen. I'm going to like this one, people. I'm going to like this one a lot. I'm just here. Look at the color.
I would be surprised if you did not like it.
I can't believe that either of us have ever walked into a German restaurant. Your German heritage. Your grandfather probably killed my grandfather. And now we are in this glorious role where we both can enjoy some Paulaner Hefeweizen beer. Let me tell you a little bit about it. This is the #1 wheat beer in Germany, and it's one of the world's favorites. In fact, beer experts refer to this Hefeweizen as a masterpiece. In developing the beer, the Paulaner brewmasters have perfected a unique technique with yeast suspension, resulting in uniform, slightly cloudy appearance. Let me turn this around so you can see. Ooh, but you can't look at the back of our heads for too long because you want to see the front. Cloudy appearance, consistent quality, and a perfect taste. This beer comes in at a 5.5 ABV. Beer Advocate, one of the highest numbers I've ever seen, 91. This is an outstanding beer according to Beer Advocate. Let's see what I say.
All right, take a sip. He has a pensive look on his face. He's he just made in his pants, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I did a #1 and a #2, and I'm also Ron. I'm not. I had a little pre-3. Go on. This beer is utterly delicious. There is, and I'm going to say this because you people know you've got some IPAs that are coming in the upcoming weeks. Thankfully, this isn't one of them. There is such a citrus flavor coming into this beer. I'll be coming into this beer later, if you know what I'm talking about, ladies. Yes. All right, maybe I am straying off the script. Sorry about that.
A little bit.
But this is a delicious beer. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. You're not going to drink too many of these. These are not crushable. This is like a 2-3 beer. I don't think this is a crushable. Hefeweizen, this is heavy. After like 3 of these, you're moving on to a lager. but you're going to sit there and say, you know what? The Hefeweizen were tastier. This is delicious. Paulaner Hefeweizen beer. Ron.
Yes, my friend.
Ron, my friend.
Yes, sir.
What are you drinking?
So going back again to the good folks at Levante Brewing in Westchester, Pennsylvania. This is a new one from them. I haven't tried it before. This is Grain Drop. It is their Japanese style rice lager. Hopefully crushable. It's clocking in at 4.5%. Has a beautiful clear body to it. You can see right through it. Let's see how this tastes. Let's have it tickle the tongue a little bit.
I'm also going to point out, Ron, you do need to start using your Cult of Ron and Brian mug. Hold on. The man oohed. Ron, walk me through your Grain Drop.
It kind of tickles the tongue. It tastes like a Hitachino, their white ale, but a little bit more of a bite to it. Really? Yeah. Interesting.
What's the ABV on it? Oh no, this is terrible. This is terrible broadcasting, Ron. Matt, edit that out at 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Edit that out. We're gonna clap our way back in. 3, 2, 1.
So it's perfectly crushable for Hot Podcaster Summer.
Hot Podcaster Summer.
So I'm glad I got a 4-pack of that, so I have extras in the beer fridge. Might have to crack open a second one later tonight.
Nice.
See how the evening goes. In the meantime, folks, let's get on to Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
I may catch a little heat on this one, but
Okay.
I'll tell you my beef of the week. It is the PATH train that I take to bring me from the glorious state of New Jersey, the Garden State, people. Takes me into New York City, New York State, the Empire State, people. It brings me from one state to another. Recently, the kind folks who operate the PATH, I believe it's the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, they just raised the rates to $3.25 per ride. That's right, Ron. $3.
Previously?
Couldn't tell you. I think it was like $2.50 when I started taking it. I think it was like $2.50, and then it went to $2.75, and then $3, and now it's $3.25. So first off, the pisser of it all is that I take it for one fucking stop. I literally get on in the morning and I take it one stop and it brings me right into the Oculus. For those people that are trying to assassinate me, I want you to know at about 9:42, I enter the Exchange Place. End it all, people. I get on the Exchange Place train stop of the PATH. I walk down at the back of the train. If you're looking for me, I'm all the way at the back of the train. This is what we're going to get to. This is the true beef of the week, Dom, is that I pay the $3.25. And you know why I pay the $3.25? Because they just installed anti-fare hopping doors that the only way now for me to take the PATH without paying is to literally jump over the turnstile. Keep in mind, these are 50-year-old legs, the knees, the ankle. My hips can't even handle any of that kind of angled movement. So I'm not jumping any turnstiles anymore. I used to be able to walk through. You know, there's one entrance down by the entrance where it's like a double or triple wide, and that's where people, you know, who have like baby strollers or they've got luggage or they'll let people use that one. But it used to be censored. So if somebody walked out of it, the doors would stay open for a period of time and I would sneak in. So
I feel like we get the concept, yes.
My point is I'd be able to sneak in there, and I did it regularly, at least once or twice a week. Not anymore, because now they're just doors that literally, if two people try to go through at the same time, a loud noise that brings everybody's attention. I ain't about that. Yeah, I'm not about that. So for the past week, I've been every ride 5 times a week, 2 times per day. I'm paying $3.25 to go one stop. This is robbery, people.
That's it.
That's my beef of the week.
All right, fair enough. I mean, you're entitled.
I'm paying $6.50 to literally go 2 combined stops. That's outrageous.
You chose to buy your ivory tower in the location that it's at. There's certain things that go along with that.
Oh, so you're gonna do the whole buyer beware? You make your choices. You make your bed kind of life.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what, Ron? Once again, you don't understand the complaints of the average person. You live behind the complaints. You live behind, in your gated community where you've got armed security guards who are, protecting you and the other residents in your Philadelphia adjacent.
Well, to be fair, they're protecting the belt, so we could certainly understand why you don't need security guards.
I tell them to protect the belt because it's going to be mine in February.
All right, so you believe.
Ron, may I ask you a question?
You may, of course.
What's bothering you?
So, as you know, Brian, I was traveling this week for work. Went out to Las Vegas for a conference. And whenever I travel, there's so many things I could use for beef of the week. So I'm going to pick the thing that was annoying right at the beginning of my trip. And we've talked about the social contract before, Brian, how you should be considerate of people around you. So I'm on the flight out to Las Vegas. It's not a short flight. It's, almost 5 hours. So, Brian, you are our senior travel correspondent for the Cult of Ron and Brian podcast. If you are sitting in your airline seat, you are on the plane, in your seat, how do you get up out of your seat, Brian?
If I'm in my seat, am I in the aisle or a middle?
Let's call it aisle.
If I'm in the aisle, I unbuckle my belt buckle or whatever they want to call it. I then turn to look behind. I then lean over to look forward to make sure there's nobody in the aisle that I'm going to walk into. I then put my hands on the armrest, stand up, and I move over and I go into the aisle.
And that's the key right there, Brian. You put your hands on your armrests and push yourself up out of your seat, correct?
Correct.
Do you, or would you, grab a hold of the back of the chair in front of you and yank that chair back towards you as hard as you possibly can to help propel yourself out of the seat?
No, because that is somebody's headrest, and
Exactly.
you're screwing with their comfort.
This woman who was sitting behind me on the flight, every single time
got
up. A woman, yes. Every single
so
time. So
you don't believe that women should be allowed to travel? Is that what I'm hearing from you? You only want a plane full of men. To you, women should just be, stay at home and no business trips or vacations. Men should be able to go out and live their lives.
She is
women
more than welcome to be on the flight. Just repeatedly, though, grabbing the back of the chair, yanking me back, and each time I would do the look back like, what the fuck is going on here? And then she would also, if she had to get into the aisle, she's bumping into people. She almost clobbered people with her carry-on when she took it out of the upper bin. And then she's that person that's right in front of the baggage carousel, blocking everybody trying to get their bags. And people would come up, somebody's bag would come down, and then they'd walk up to her, and they'd be like, I'm trying. She's like, excuse me, and she'd be like, I'm waiting for my bag. And we're all like, no shit. We're all waiting for our bag.
We're all waiting for our bag. Yeah. That would.
It was clobbering time, but I pride myself in the fact that I've never hit a woman in my life, and I did not want to start on this flight, although it was very tempting.
You've never hit a woman, and you've gone through a divorce that never got physical.
It never got physical, no.
Kudos to you, my friend.
Well,
Kudos to you. We're done with beef of the week, I'm assuming. You just took down the placard. But can you, I haven't been to Vegas in 3 years at this point, almost 4. And we talked about it during the week when you were out there. You were out there on a business trip, not for for pleasure purposes. But you made a couple comments, and I said, you know what, save it for the show because I'm very
Sure.
interested in hearing it. But save it for the show, which was you made several comments that basically were along the lines of Vegas sucks compared to how it used to be.
It's not the same experience.
How so?
Well, we were staying at the MGM Grand, number one, which used to be one of the better hotels on the Strip.
Of course.
Completely run down at this point. It really does seem in that lower half of the Strip, a lot of the hotels are being run down, and I get it. Occupancy in Las Vegas is at like an all-time low this year because prices got so high there. But I walked from MGM up to the Stratosphere at 10 a.m. I started walking, and it was just like chaos for the first half of the walk. It's just, even at 10 a.m., there is noise blaring. There's, people moseying around, people trying to hand you like religious artifacts as you move along. Like they had these beaded bracelets that people kept trying to hand you, I guess probably for a donation. Homeless people
anal
everywhere.
Beads? Were those anal beads?
Those I would have taken. Those I would have been like, you know what? That's worth $5.
Of course. Homeless people.
People, wanting to get tips for photos. People dressed in like showgirl attire.
Of course, like Times Square.
Which you expect from Times Square. It's what makes Times Square. Vegas used to have a different vibe. I don't know that I would go back. I mean, we had a great time there for your 50th a few years ago.
Years ago.
But this was definitely not an enjoyable trip.
Okay, walk me through your experience. I'm going to go through the hotels that I remember being on the Strip. You tell me if you were there and what was your experience. We'll start with Mandalay Bay. I always felt that was the crown jewel of the south side of the Strip.
I mean, still in decent condition. We actually went to dinner in a steakhouse in the Four Seasons in Mandalay Bay. So that's holding up, but it's showing its age without a doubt.
Okay. Used to be across the street was the Tropicana. I know they've taken it down because now they're building up the baseball. How far along does the baseball stadium?
So the frame of the baseball stadium is up. So I would say they're probably, I don't know that they'll be ready to play next season, but maybe if they rush it along.
28. Okay.
Right.
Then we've got MGM across New York. I imagine it was right across the street from where you were staying. And that was kind of turning into a shithole, 10 years ago.
Very much so.
Still a shithole or even worse?
I think possibly even worse.
All right. Just moving our way down. I remember it was the Monte Carlo still there. Or have they taken that down?
I believe they took that down.
Because that was a almost shit. The only good thing about Monte Carlo was that they would during the daytime have $1 blackjack tables, and I remember it was the only place
blackjack tables anymore.
It was the only place I could make my mom. My mom I would drag my mom to the blackjack tables at Monte Carlo because she would be willing to pay $1 a hand. What else? Let's just hit the majors. Caesars. What Caesars likes?
Caesars still looks the same from the outside. Didn't really go in Caesars.
Fine. What was Paris and Bally's?
Paris,
Bailey's.
Bally's, Harrah's still there. Went into Venetian and Palazzo. They're just packed with people these days.
Are they still as nice
as you go north? What's that?
Okay. Are they still nice? Because I do remember the Venetian was considered top of the line at the
Venetian and Palazzo are very nice still.
Still very nice. I remember the Wynn. I imagine the Wynn is still super
Wynn and
impressive.
Aria, probably two of the better ones. They built a new Fontainebleau. Resorts World looks good. But again, that's kind of north of mid-strip. Like it seems like you need to stay north of mid-strip.
Got it. Okay.
These days.
Well, okay. Let me just ask two questions, then I'm going to let you move on because I know you're itching for the next bit. What was your best experience out there this trip, and what was your worst? Other than, obviously, the woman giving you whiplash on the plane. What were your two in Vegas best and worst experiences?
Let's see. We'll go worst experience when we had dinner on Friday night at Dow Nightclub and Restaurant. We were going to a magic show in the Palazzo. Went there for a 9:00 dinner reservation. Got there a few minutes late, but they tell you've got a 15-minute grace period. What time do you think we were sat for our 9:00 dinner reservation, Brian?
I'm going to say 9:20.
10 p.m.
What?
Yes. And then we weren't out of there till midnight because of how slow the service was.
Ugh, I'd be furious. Did the dinner
And the
cost
food was good, but not good. It did not cost $900. The food was good, but not good enough to waste 2 hours of my day.
Got it.
But
That's
I will
outrageous.
say, best part was the magic show. Shin Lim, 2-time winner of America's Got Talent, has a show in Vegas. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He does a lot of sleight of hand card tricks. He also has a mentalist that does intermission parts of the show, so it wasn't just all card tricks. But very, very, can I tell you about the trick he started off with real quick? Because it still blows my mind. So you sit down in your seat, and each seat has a cup holder. Nice perk, I'll take that. Little pack of playing cards in your drink holder. It says, don't open this till Shin Lim tells you to. So you open it up. There's 4 playing cards in there. So
just
he says,
4.
Take your 4, and everyone's has 4 different cards. He's like, everyone take your 4 cards, tear them in half. So now you've got 8 pieces of card. He's like, just stack them up however you want to stack them up. And he goes to some random person in the audience and says, pick a number 1 through 5. 4. All right, count down 4. Throw that piece of card over your shoulder. And you go to another person and have them pick a number. All right, throw that card over your shoulder. And then he's like, all right, pick top or bottom. And you throw that over your shoulder. So then he's like, all right, take the card on top. He's like, put that in your pocket. So you tuck it away, you put that in the pocket. And then he keeps picking people in the crowd. We're throwing cards until we just have 1 piece left in our hand and 1 piece left in the pocket. He's like, all right. He's like, pull the piece of card out of your pocket. It should line up with the card you had left in your hand. And sure enough, I took the piece of card out of my pocket and it put the card back together. It was the top and bottom of the queen of, and everybody on our row had it. Like, I don't think everybody in the theater got it, but enough people got it. We were like, the man's a demon, clearly.
How does he do that? At any point did he say, "That's the prestige"?
He did not. No.
Oh,
sorry.
That's disappointing. Very disappointing. All right, and that's Vegas. So the show was your favorite part?
I would say so. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. It's a shame. I had, and now we're going back probably 20 years. I had such good times out there. And I keep in mind, I'm going on a trip with my parents. So, like, this was not like, it was no, there was no strip clubs or drugs or, it literally was me just going out for dinner with my folks and then gambling on blackjack at night. I had so many good times and good memories. That it's sad to hear that it's and I know I've heard the complaint of people saying like it's too expensive. Like it used to be that if everything was cheap because they would make their money at the tables. And then over the last maybe 5 years or so, they just woke up one day, especially post-pandemic, and we're like, no, we're going to make our money everywhere.
Yeah. Like MGM Grand, they don't even give you a coffee maker in your room because they want to make sure you have to go down to the Starbucks in the lobby and buy a coffee.
Yeah, that can be frustrating.
Yeah, just a bit. Brian, let's move on to our stories of the week. Our stories that obviously we want to make sure we get to. We want to share with the people. We want to show the work because the work is so important.
Sure.
Brian, what's your story this week?
All right, my story of the week takes us to, of all places, the New York Post. And why does it do that? I'll tell you why. Because there is a story this week that struck my eye. And the story, I'm going to read you the headline if I click on the right link over here. And how often you should actually be pooping, and what is the best time of day for you to be pooping. And here's the story. Doctors have weighed in on a question most people are too embarrassed to ask. How often should you actually be going? Now, I am not afraid to admit that, most of my life I have been in the irregular column, going, maybe once or twice a week, holding it in for sometimes up to 6 days in a row without pooping, never in pain or discomfort, just, it's a little dry on the way out, which could cause a little chafing of the rectum, and others just some really rancid gas. However, doctors are saying that the broad normal range for poop schedules is anywhere from 3 times a day to 3 times a week.
Okay.
But 1 to 2 solid bowel movements per day appears to be the most associated with healthy gut microbiomes and fewer toxins in the blood, according to Malibu gastroenterologist Dr. Sabine Hazan. Digestive health expert Dr. Jason Kornblit, love these names, says consistency is what matters most, way more important than hitting an exact number, and that fewer than 3 bowel movements a week, especially with hard stools or straining, can indicate constipation. As for timing, your colon runs on a circadian rhythm, meaning active during the day, slower at night, which is why so many people feel the urge to poop first thing in the morning. See, it's not that coffee that's doing it. It's just your body and your poop kicking in. So all those people in our After Dark, in our Patreon who have gone on for so many times telling me that I should be very concerned about, holding on to my poop, retaining. I remember people said that I should join a support group for people that are, poop retainers.
Right.
No, I am just on the outside cusp of normal.
Okay.
And that makes me happy. Ron.
Well, you've been working on a healthy gut, so it's good to know, the probiotics.
Yes.
The gut healthy foods you've been eating. It sounds like they're doing the work.
Over the past, I'm going to say 3 months, I have been taking Metamucil fiber plus probiotics. And I'm going to say I am now at a point where I'm going 3-4 times a week.
Which seems very healthy. According to these gastroenterologists, you're doing better.
They're not big, heavy, gigantic dumps. I can't take a photo and send it to Christopher Saletti. However, I am still going on a much more regular basis. So thanks, Jojo, for the question. We do appreciate it. I am on a much better schedule thanks to those probiotics, which she has told me to take probably going back to 1998. Ron, let me ask you a question.
Right. Yes.
What's your story of the week?
Brian, let me pull up a photo here. This is YouTuber Alan Farrell, and he has received a lifetime ban from Cedar Point and every other Six Flags park after a viral video surfaced showing him eating McDonald's Chicken McNuggets while riding the Millennium Force roller coaster in Sandusky, Ohio. The stunt was a challenge from one of his followers. He smuggled the nuggets into the park in his pants and at one point even dipped them in sweet and sour sauce, which obviously made quite a mess. The coaster hits 93 miles per hour, and he only managed to get through 7 of the 10 nuggets. Cedar Point's spokesperson said safety is a cornerstone of their business and that loose articles on rides, including food, are a choking hazard and strictly prohibited. Farrell said the park initially considered pressing charges, but they, quote, worked it out. He says he understands why they banned him, calling it a really fun challenge while acknowledging the park's safety concerns.
I'm struggling to see exactly what the concern is here.
Well, I guess he broke one of the rules, which is he brought food on the roller coaster. I think also because he put it out there, and that's when you start getting those copycats that try and do the same thing. And all it takes is one person to choke to death on a McNugget on a roller coaster to really ruin your day.
Well, wouldn't somebody choking on a roller coaster make fewer people eat chicken nuggets on a roller coaster afterwards?
You would think. Listen, I don't know what the mindset is, but Mr. Farrell not going to be able to be at any Six Flags.
That's a shame. Utter shame. Ron, do you enjoy roller coasters?
I don't. I've never been a fan of roller coasters.
Fucking hate them. I took a roller coaster at Legoland in Denmark. And keep in mind, I'm on there with like a 13, 14-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy who are laughing at me because I'm sitting in my little seat like, and they're just literally bored as the thing's going around. I was not happy. Not happy at all.
So I guess that restraining order doesn't apply in Denmark. You were able to be that close to the underage kids.
Why do you think I married my lady?
Understood.
Family. I get a waiver for family.
Brian, we have yet another follow-up for the whole JPMorgan sex slave lawsuit getting messier. Former JPMorgan banker Chareu Reyna on the left here got hit with a major blow in his salacious lawsuit. His high-profile attorney, Daniel Kaiser, who previously represented Jeffrey Epstein accusers, suddenly dropped him as a client just hours before a scheduled court appearance. Court filings reveal Rana doesn't have a new lawyer lined up and is now representing himself. In his lawsuit, Rana alleged that his supervisor, Lorna Hajdini, coerced him into degrading sexual acts, made racially abusive remarks, and even drugged him, and that she threatened his career if he refused her advances. Hajdini has not denied everything. To make matters worse, a judge also ruled that same day that Rana cannot remain anonymous in the case, which I didn't realize he was anonymous up to this point, but apparently in the court filings, he was listed as John Doe, even though every press outlet had basically outed him at this point. Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Dakota Ramsour said, quote, "You can't put the genie back in the bottle," regarding him wanting to remain anonymous. JPMorgan has maintained throughout the that the allegations have no merit and that an internal investigation found no evidence of misconduct. Is there any way this guy does not just lose tons of money in his counter lawsuit that he's facing?
Listen, to me, this was somebody who had really bad intentions from the get-go, was hoping to come up with a story so salacious that he would get JPMorgan, just from their public relations department, to sit there and issue a settlement with an order not to discuss externally, just for a quick paycheck, and it's blown up in his face. His entire life is ruined. I mean, he can become a bartender in a small town in Maine, but anybody who looks him up is going to find out what's going on with him.
And surprisingly, not our only JPMorgan story this week. This past week, a Wall Street arbitration panel ordered JPMorgan to pay $4.25 million to veteran Beverly Hills broker Brent Ryan Bodner, who was fired after submitting a $642.50 deli platter as a business expense. The bank claimed that the platter was for a personal Super Bowl party. Bodner's lawyer says it was for a pre-approved business meeting at his home, that his assistant had cleared the food order in advance, and that the expense was submitted the same way similar charges had always been handled. There was just a minor clerical mix-up on where the food was consumed. His lawyer alleged JPMorgan had already decided to fire Bodner before the deli platter investigation was even complete, with internal staff moving, quote, like vultures on a carcass to carve up his client book. FINRA also ordered the bank to change the stated reason for his departure from termination to voluntary on his official regulatory record, a change that matters enormously in financial services, where a termination notation can effectively end a career. Bodner is now at Wells Fargo, and JPMorgan called the ruling a disappointment. Now, Brian, you're in HR. You have definitely worked hard over the years to make sure that the companies that you work for have been able to illegally fire people without repercussions. Nope. What are your thoughts on this story?
Listen, from an HR perspective, you get all the facts. You conduct an investigation when you believe that there's been a fraudulent activity. You do an investigation. You conduct as thorough an investigation as possible. You speak to the person that you believe was guilty of this fraudulent act. You get testimony from anybody else who might be aware of what took place, why it took place, whatnot. Then you base your judgment on the results of that investigation. This clearly sounds like somebody was looking for an opportunity to fire him, regardless of whether warranted or not.
All right. Well, even though it was an arbitration hearing, JPMorgan may decide to try and appeal this in the courts to try and get the ruling overturned. So as we do with all these JPMorgan stories, Brian, we will follow up as necessary.
Welcome.
Now, the bigger story, I guess the biggest story this past week is the Freedom 250 concert that had a jam-packed C-list musical lineup, 90% of which have dropped off over the past week. Brian, I know you were excited with the opportunity to potentially see Milli Vanilli perform again.
Yeah.
That has been squashed. What's your take on the Freedom 250?
I'm going to say this. In concept, the fact that this country has been in existence for 250 years is absolutely something that should be recognized and it should be celebrated. I understand and I do accept that we do have a divisive president. We do have a divisive administration. And because of that, any type of, how do I say, public display of patriotism right now is going to become, however you look at it, a political issue where it shouldn't be. There should be some type of celebration that welcomes people of different beliefs, different faiths. That is what has made America great for those 250 years, is that we are accepting people of different thoughts, different beliefs, religious, ethnic, whatever.
Ethnicities?
The idea that that this original lineup that was announced, the 9 stars, and I know you have the list lined up right here to review, that this was the best that we could get to celebrate America is so concerning to me.
Well, we had It was Martina McBride,
who I don't know. I'll be the first to admit I don't know her. I don't know what she sings.
Bret Michaels, former lead singer of Poison.
Sure.
Young MC, Morris Day and the Time, the Commodores, Milli Vanilli, as we mentioned, Vanilla Ice. I don't know if I said that already. Surprisingly, no Kid Rock. But
he's on tour this summer, so I imagine he's doing something. Yeah.
A number of people have dropped out. This was going to be going on at the Great American State Fair, which is running June 25th through July 10th. But now apparently it's going to turn into a good old-fashioned Trump campaign rally. He wants to be the headliner now.
Which might have been his intention from the get-go.
Right.
Because we know how much he does not enjoy when other people are getting all the accolades.
And of course, we will still have the UFC fight taking place on the Great Lawn at the White House. Brian,
Sure.
I don't know if you saw this image that was floating around social media this week.
Sure. Yeah, I did.
It's a photo. The top photo is what the White House looked like overhead as of August of last year.
Sure.
The bottom photo was from a few days ago. You can see on the left there where the one wing has been torn down for the big, beautiful ballroom. And then just smack dab in the lawn is that. I'm not even sure what they're building there. It looks like they're building a Thunderdome.
Well, what they're doing is they're building the ring inside the octagon, and then it's just lighting rigs. It's lighting rigs, and I imagine some speakers. They'll put the seats all around. It's I'm not going to listen. I don't understand. It's people are acting like this is the end of the world. It's not. It is. This is a. We've got 2.5 more years of this. We will survive it. We are going to have to deal with a lot of nonsense until then. This is not the end of democracy as we know it. This is just the fact. And keep in mind, I'm still on ground here. I've not changed my messaging here. This is all the Democrats' fault. This is the Democrats for not putting together any type of workable platform 2 years ago to run against Trump. We knew Trump was going to run. They knew that was going to be the opponent, and they could not figure out how to beat him. When they absolutely should have. We were coming out of a 4-year disastrous administration from him. He could not handle the pandemic, made the country worse under his leadership. Biden came in. The pandemic ends with widespread use of the vaccine, or as I like to call it, the Fauci.
The Fauci ouchie?
That's it. The Fauci ouchie. I forgot it as I was saying it. Economy was rolling. Inflation a little high. Immigration out of control. However, we were doing pretty decent. Now it's just a shit show. We're in a war in Iran, but we're going to open the Strait of Hormuz any day now. We'll survive this. It's not. I never said it's going to be easy.
Right.
We will survive it. The trick here is to make sure that we vote in mass. We vote for the best candidate. We vote for the best person in 2028.
Speaking of which, going back to the presidential election in 2024, did you see the comments from former First Lady Jill Biden in her interview the other day, where she admitted she was thinking that Joe Biden had a stroke during that 2024 presidential debate?
Yeah, I think we all did.
I mean, I think we're more surprised that he didn't have a stroke.
Yeah, no, that was pretty hard to watch.
Yeah, but again, it just shows you the Democrats. No one wanted to be the adult in the room and say, "Joe,
correct,
you shouldn't run. We need to have primaries. We need to get a good candidate out there."
Correct.
So we'll see. Hopefully we'll have midterm elections in 6 months. You never know the way things go these days, but we'll see how things play out in 2026, and then we'll get ready for 2 years of nonsense as we get ready for 2028.
That we will. We are going to survive. It's not going to be an easy road, but I will not succumb to this panic of the world is ending. And if the world were to end, whatever, I'm in my ivory tower over here. I'll be okay.
Now you challenged me a little earlier today. You said, would I be willing to take the New York Times news quiz? And I said, listen, I'm not 49% energy. I am a champion, multiple time champion, and I'll take on whatever it is you want to throw at me.
Listen, we know you pride yourself on knowing so much about current events. This is just simply a quick test. Play along at home, folks. This is going to see how well is Ron paid attention to the last week of the world that we live in. If you're at home, grab a pen, grab a paper, jot down your scores. Let's compare them to how Ron does. Are you ready, Ron?
I'm ready if you are.
Here we go. The very first question is that Ken Paxton defeated Senator John Cornyn, a four-time incumbent, in a runoff for the Republican nomination for a Texas Senate seat. What job does Paxton currently hold?
I believe he is the Attorney General of Texas.
You are absolutely correct. He is the Attorney General of Texas, a position he has held since 2015. You are 1 for 1. Let's go to question number 2. This week, the Justice Department opened a criminal investigation into a person who had previously sued President Trump. Who was it? And by the way, people, if I'm not going to read the questions because time is of the essence here. If you're listening to this on audio, you're missing out because we've got the options on the screen. Ron, who do you got?
Again, another easy one, unfortunately. He has asked the DOJ to look into E. Jean Carroll.
You are absolutely correct. She is a former magazine writer who prevailed in a civil trial after accusing Trump of sexual abuse. You're 2 for 2. Question number 3. Senators in which state adjourned their session on Tuesday without taking up a new Trump-backed congressional map that aimed to eliminate its lone district with a majority black voters?
I think it was South Carolina.
You think or you know?
As best as I can, I think it's South Carolina.
That's because it is South Carolina. Thousands of early voters had already cast ballots in the state's upcoming primary, which swayed some Republicans against voting to redraw that map. Ron, you are on fire. Next question. The Trump administration announced a major change to the application process for a green card, which gives foreigners the right to permanently live and work in the United States. What was the change they announced?
Brian, the changes, they must now apply from their home country.
Oh, you are on fire, my friend. Most green card applicants will now have to apply from their home country. This is amazing, Ron. The New York Knicks are back in the NBA Finals for the first time in years. I believe it was 1994. What was the number 1 movie at the box office the last time they reached the finals?
94. I mean, there's some interesting ones here. I'm going to go with Austin Powers.
Oh, the man is sharp. That is correct. Austin Powers. It was the second Austin Powers was on top of it. Look, the last time they hit the finals, 99. Ron, you're perfect. This is amazing.
Nixon 6, by the way.
In the first encyclical of his papacy, encyclical, I don't like that word, Pope Leo XIV, I believe that's 14, took aim at artificial intelligence, calling for robust government regulation and protections for workers. What was the document called?
I'm just going to have to take a stab at this one and say it was Intelligentsia Hominis.
You are incorrect. It's Magnifica Humanitatis, or Magnificent Humanity. Do you think anybody actually read the document? Because I don't. This week, Iranians regained access to a crucial utility that had been unavailable for 88 days since the United States and Israel began their war with the country. What was that utility?
Again, got to go with the guess here. I'm going cell phone service.
You are incorrect. The right answer is the internet. In an effort to block people from organizing against the government, they shut down the internet on February 28th. Here we go. One country consumes nearly half of the world's cigarettes, some 2.4 trillion a year. What country is it?
I mean, I got to go large population. I got to go India.
You are wrong. The correct answer is China, where cigarette consumption actually rose 39% from 2003 to 2023 in the opposite direction of global trends. Here we go.
Cold here.
That's right. There you go. Ferrari has unveiled its first electric car called the Luce. The car, designed in collaboration with former Apple designer, I'm going to struggle on this name, Joni Ive. What is the price of this car? The starting price, excuse me.
You're going to give me a screen with some choices?
Oh, yeah. Is it 48,000 euros? Is it 225,000 euros? Is it 550,000 euros? 1.6 million euros or 5.2 million euros?
I got to go with 550,000 euros.
You know what? I wouldn't even let you read it on, but you are so damn good. It is 550,000 euros. Rod, you are so good. The chef Santiago Rivera, who is widely credited with creating the Basque cheesecake, is retiring from his bakery. What two elements make the Basque cheesecake distinct? So you're going to pick two of these.
I'm going to pick two. Well, I know one of those is that it has a scorched caramelized top.
Okay.
And I believe it's orange flavored as well.
You are wrong. It is crustless and has a scorched caramelized top. Last question here, Ron. The jazz legend Sonny Rollins died on Monday at 95. What instrument did he play?
I believe saxophone is the correct answer here.
You do know your jazz. You are correct. He was a tenor saxophone. Ron, thank you for playing. I believe you got 7 out of 11.
Not bad.
Not bad. Ladies and gentlemen at home, I hope you fared just as well as Ron did. But pay attention to the news. I would like to make this a recurring bit.
All right, we'll see what we can do. Next up, Brian, we've got a Oklahoma homeowner that shot a squatter and is now facing a manslaughter charge. Oklahoma City homeowner Timothy Smith, shown here in his mugshot, was charged after he allegedly killed a man he found squatting with a woman inside one of his vacant properties. Smith arrived at the home armed with a handgun and accompanied by his daughter and got into an argument with Justin King, ordering him to leave. Smith told police that King stepped toward him before he fired, striking King in the neck. King was hospitalized for over a week before being taken off life support on May 8th. Smith was initially charged with assault and battery with a deadly weapon, but prosecutors upgraded the charge to first-degree manslaughter after King's death. He's being held on $25,000 bond. A self-defense angle here is legally complicated, While Oklahoma's castle doctrine allows deadly force to defend a home, legal experts says the law is very different when it comes to a vacant property the owner doesn't actually live in. Defense attorney Ed Blau put it plainly, there's no death penalty for squatting, and Smith's own admission that he didn't see a weapon in King's hand will make a self-defense claim difficult at trial. Brian, you are the senior Stand Your Ground correspondent here at the Cult of Ron and Brian.
Yeah.
What is your take on this? Overreaction or justified?
Oh, I mean, if he premeditated this, I think he's justified. I believe our squatting laws. I mean, as a landowner, as somebody who has property rights in America, I think it is very important that people who invest in real estate and own real estate, I believe that they are not adequately protected by our current laws. The very idea that a squatter can just, break into a house, change the locks, and pretend that they are living there legally, and the law is on their side, that you can't just show up and shoot them. I have a hard time with this one. I genuinely do.
So you feel taking someone's life because they may not have anywhere else to live and they're in a rough spot.
Hold on.
That.
It's not, you're not killing them because they have no place to live. You are killing them because they refuse to leave your home. Now, whether it is your primary residence or a home that you live. No, this is tomato, my friend. This is a pure example of the law not being on the morally correct side. And I'm not going to say that I encourage people to go out and kill squatters. No. Do not use that accusation or slur against me. I'm just saying that with that thing hanging out of his neck in that mugshot, he doesn't have a lot of time left, I'm guessing. And therefore, I'm going to assume that any life sentence he gets is going to be a short sentence.
So you agree, you understand, you may not agree, but you understand where he's coming from.
Very much so. But I also, and this is where I will completely turn hypocritical here, I think that the people who buy real estate for investment purposes to allow renters to basically pay enough money to live there while the landlord is accruing equity in those homes rubs me the wrong way.
So you're against the capitalist system. Okay.
There are so many ways where I'm against the capitalist system, and you know it, buddy. How many times have I filled out paperwork with various government agencies listing your home as my domicile, and
more than I'd like to know.
Exactly, more than you know.
Probably. Yeah. Brian, this one very sad. Lloyd Poole, a 75-year-old Michigan Army veteran, has died 5 months after being sucker punched by a DoorDash driver named Ryan Daniel Turner, who had been speeding through Poole's Wixom neighborhood last December. This is a photo. On the left is Ryan Daniel Turner's mugshot. On the right is Lloyd Poole in his hospital bed. According to Lloyd's daughter, Jen Shaw, Turner got out of his car, exchanged words with her father, and then punched him out of nowhere on the side of the head. Poole fell and never got up. He was left in a coma, had part of his skull removed, and underwent 7 brain surgeries before dying on May 16th. The Oakland County Prosecutor's Office says it is reviewing the case and may upgrade charges against Turner, who currently faces aggravated assault and has a pretrial hearing scheduled for June 17th. His daughter told reporters her father lost his life over something, quote, so stupid. Brian, you are our senior food delivery correspondent here at the Cult of Ron and Brian podcast. Your thoughts on this DoorDash driver?
You're the one who orders food delivery. I very rarely will. It is against my moral code. I will admit every now and then I'll do a Grubhub order, but you will DoorDash Starbucks deliver to your house. If not, we live in a society where people are And I don't want to point fingers and say it started here or this or one person is responsible, but we live in a time and an age where people feel so obligated to stand up for themselves and immediately turn to anger as the correct emotion to feel when there's any type of altercation. We do not live in a society where we are taught that it's okay to sit there and go, "Oh, I'm sorry." We don't apologize. We don't take responsibility. It is a matter of just meet that a confrontation with a higher level of rage, and this is the outcome of it.
This is why we're non-confrontational, because you don't know how crazy somebody else might be.
Not at all. I am so ingrained of don't make eye contact. I don't even make eye contact in the office when people say good morning to me. I'm like,
what are we
morning.
doing? What's going on?
No.
All right. Next up, Brian. Again, another sad story where a Michigan man will spend the rest of his life in prison after gunning down a Facebook marketplace seller who was trying to unload some car parts. Omar Brogdon, on the left here, was sentenced to life without parole for the shooting death of 38-year-old Orhan Hosik, pictured on the right. The violence unfolded in July 2024 when the two met at Hosik's apartment, where Hosik had planned to sell 2 Corvette seats to Brogdon. The encounter, I'm not laughing because
why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because it's such a stupid argument. The encounter escalated as the men got into a fight over which sports car brand was superior, Mercedes or BMW. At sentencing, Hosik's stepmother delivered a devastating victim impact statement telling Brogdon that he had shot out the only eye her stepson could see out of. A man who had survived childhood cancer and lived with facial disfigurement. Brogdon expressed remorse, saying it was, quote, an unfortunate event and that he was scared and cornered. The judge called the killing senseless before handing down the life sentence.
Jesus, this is like that scene in Nebraska where those guys are arguing over which car is better, a Lincoln or a Cadillac. Like this is no different than people arguing over which pizzeria is better in New York. Like, right. It's just subjective, and it's not a point. Though I do, I think there is something wrong with my computer monitor because it looks like the image is distorted and somehow been like rounded down in the right hand corner. I'm going to have to take this to those Mr. Fix-It guys at the Apple Genius bar.
I mean, you can certainly see why Omar may not have seen the shot coming. Sorry. Was that wrong?
No, that was way better than anything I would have come up with. Jesus, that's good. Oh, well done. Well done, champ. There's a reason why you have the belt and I don't. And it's for moments like that.
All right, Brian, we definitely wanted to make sure we got to this story before the show ended. Over Memorial Day weekend in San Jose, California, cosplay models set up unofficial stands outside FanimeCon, selling what they openly marketed as feet juice. That is fruit juice prepared in plastic buckets where they'd been soaking their bare feet. Cups went for $10 to $15 each, and it sold out in under an hour. The signs read, as you can see here, fresh feet juice with a tiered menu, Brian. $5 for a swig, up to $15 to drink directly from a cosplayer's foot, which you can see in that left photo there. The stunt took place at ParkCon, an unofficial late-night gathering associated with FanimeCon that is not sanctioned by the official convention, where essentially anyone can show up and do whatever they want. Several attendees who consumed the liquid reportedly became violently ill, and lawsuits have since been threatened against FanimeCon organizers, with plaintiffs arguing the convention failed to properly monitor the surrounding perimeter. Legal experts note the plaintiffs will need to establish a meaningful connection between FanimeCon and the unsanctioned gathering to have a viable claim. Now, Brian, as we have often said over the years, we don't kink shame on this podcast.
No, we do not. We do not.
but I feel like we might need to in this case. I feel maybe.
Hold on a second. Hold on, time out. I don't want to talk to Champion Ron. I don't want to talk to backyard pool landowner Philadelphia adjacent Ron. I want to talk to the Ron that works at Sears in upstate New York. That's the Ron I want to talk to.
So going back to my college days, going back 35 years now.
Saturday evening, you're out with your buddies. You're coming home from a local day at the Saratoga racetrack, and there is a young lady in her early 20s wearing a long green wig with a sign that says "Fresh Feet Juice." Keep in mind, you've probably been drinking throughout the afternoon. You lost the daily double, but you hit an exacta in the 5th race. Or sitting right next to her is a woman in a pink wig, also sitting there asking, offering feet juice if you're willing to. You're telling me, Ron. Keep in mind, this is Sears employee.
Sure,
Ron.
sure.
You're telling me after a couple drinks, you wouldn't walk by this and be like, "All right, I'm next."
I gotta say, 100% honest, I got a thing about feet. That I don't know that I could drink a beverage that somebody has soaked their feet in.
No. It's fucking nasty. But I'm saying that a younger guy would be more like you asking two 50-year-old cis white males to drink fruit juice that's running down somebody's feet. We are not the target market for these two young ladies. You and I would sit there, walk by, and go, "Ew," and just keep walking.
But I think the fact that if you're not watching the video, you're missing out. I mean, they literally have like igloo coolers that they have poured this Hawaiian punch into. Maybe there's a collab coming up. I don't know. And these ladies have their feet firmly ensconced into the Hawaiian punch
above the ankle. That's how deep this is.
Yeah, ankle deep.
And that's a name of my high school band. And then they're taking their feet out, and as the fruit juice is rolling off their feet, they are offering for a young man to stand underneath them to drink that liquid. Just utterly disgusting.
One of the more disturbing stories we've covered. Let's see if we can sneak a few more in here. A dog accidentally discharged a loaded shotgun inside a truck at a Nebraska gas station, sending a blast through the vehicle and injuring a woman in another car several yards away. The incident unfolded when the truck's owner pulled into a convenience store in Scottsbluff and went inside. The dog, left in the back seat, moved around and came into contact with a shotgun stored in the vehicle, which had a live round in the chamber. The blast passed through the passenger side door, traveled out of the parking lot, and struck a woman who was stopped at a nearby traffic light, hitting her in the upper portion of her right arm. Thankfully, her injuries were not life-threatening. Police reminded the public that in Nebraska, it is illegal to transport a loaded shotgun in a vehicle. I mean, people need to learn how to handle guns safely. A guy thinks I would definitely drink feet juice. Sorry, guy. Brian, you are our resident canine expert. Do you think guns kill dogs or dogs kill guns? Wait, how did I say that right?
I think guns kill dogs. It's not people, and it's dogs don't kill. Listen, I think this is just, the line you said in there, which is really where you hear the responsibility, is that a live chamber was left in the gun. This is a breakdown of just generally accepted gun safety. Now, every protocol is lost here.
What is also interesting is that gun shop experts weighed in, saying that simply bumping or jostling a shotgun won't set it off. The trigger has to be pulled. A dog catching a claw or a paw pad in the trigger guard with about 3 to 5 pounds of pressure could do it. So it doesn't take a lot.
No. Have you ever pulled a shotgun?
And again, these younger, I've not fired a shotgun. I've fired other guns, but not a shotgun.
I fired a shotgun. It was
You would think,
fucking scary.
after seeing Old Yeller,
Sure.
that some of these dogs would just stay away from shotguns.
It's terrible, Ron. Just terrible.
Sorry.
Terrible.
You know what's not terrible, Brian?
Our After Dark.
Patreon.
Yeah.
We have After Dark coming up. Just 25 minutes from now. It's the last Sunday of the month, so we have our pajama party. This is when we allow our Patreon subscribers to sit in on the show with us, and we have Can You Beat Brian, a 15-question trivia contest coming up tonight. Brian is attempting to defend the honor of the podcast. If he does not, we will make a $25 donation to the charity of the winner's choosing. So if you go to cultofronandbrian.com, you click in the upper right-hand corner, and you just, type away. $5 gets you a basic subscription where you get the audio of After Dark, but $10 or more gets you on the live show, which again is happening now in 24 minutes. If you love us, you will subscribe, because we put this money right back into the podcast. It is meant to be made for you guys. You've noticed the new music, the new videos, things of that nature. Those things ain't cheap, folks, and that's where this money goes to.
All comes from the money that we have collected from Patreon. We're in a lot of. I've seen a lot of YouTube shows, or shows on Kick, or what's the other one, Twitch, where you can have people pay for a comment. We're never doing that. We're never going to charge people. You're not going to call it a donation for a super comment that's going to automatically get you featured on the show. No, commenting is free. We don't charge on this show. This show is always going to be 100% free for anybody with an internet connection. How do we try to recoup some of the money that Ron and I send out? Is through this Patreon. As little as $5 a month will help. It's little, the price of a cup of coffee. Then you've got, and for each level goes $10, $20, $25, $50, $1,000. For those dollar a month, you get different type of rewards, swag, merchandise, coffee mugs, baseball caps, mug shots, mug glasses. I'll jerk you off. I mean, literally, like I will.
That's at the titanium level.
That's titanium. $2,500 a month, and obviously you have to be, a paid titanium member for for at least 6 months before I give out a hand job. But seriously, people, if you're watching the show and you're sitting there week after week saying, "How can I help support this show?" That's how you do it. We don't need praise. We know we're doing excellent work here.
There you go.
And the work is so
damn important.
So, it's the way and that money goes right back into the show. We should actually put ourselves up as a non-profitable organization.
I think I'm surprised we haven't gotten the Nobel Peace Prize yet for the work.
Well, it's soon going to be the Trump Peace Prize if Lindsey Graham. What was the nickname that they had for Lindsey Graham with the little
Lady J or Lady G? What was Lady G? There we go.
I think it was Lady G. God damn it. I love that guy.
Brian, anything else before we wrap up and get ready for After Dark?
I need to go make myself an espresso. I need to get the brain sharp because we are doing Can You Beat Brian? I do not know the topic. I'm always nervous. You always get me on these. And that's going to be fun.
Don't expect anything less tonight. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will catch you next week.
Takes rising, orders given. Once you're